I just wanted to take my service dog for a walk like usual, but then a neighbor who doesn't like dogs suddenly made a no dogs rule and turned my life into a legal battle. Who would have thought that the person behind this would be Ho Karen? Have you ever been unfairly controlled just because someone didn't like your hobby? What would you do if they not only complained, but also took legal action against you? Share your story if you've ever had someone interfere with your hobbies or passions. What did you do to protect your rights? On a warm Monday morning, with sunlight gently filtering through the large trees, I was driving home after a long day at work. The neighborhood I live in is quiet, almost isolated from the hustle and bustle outside. The streets are empty, the air is fresh, and the green trees cast shadows on the pavement. My dog, Jack, a loyal service dog, sat quietly in the passenger seat. Jack usually enjoys looking around during our walks, sometimes turning his head to the window as if sharing this peaceful feeling with me. Today, I decided to spend some time walking around the neighborhood with Jack, both to relax and to help him get some exercise after a long day of work. I am Daniel, a national animal handler, working with animal protection organizations and training service animals. My work isn't just a passion, but a great love that allows me to directly improve the lives of dogs and other animals through training and protection. Jack, my service dog, has been trained to assist in emergency situations such as search and rescue and protection. Jack is an excellent companion and is indispensable both in my work and in my daily life. I always stand up for animal rights and am determined to fight against any discrimination they face. When I'm not working, I find ways to relax with Jack, walking him around the neighborhood where I live. Although I'm not an easily angered person, I'm always ready to confront those who harm animal rights. The neighborhood I live in is not very populated, just a few small houses, quiet and separated from the noise of the city. This is why I love this place, the quiet space, free from petty worries, and the comfort of living with animals without judgment. But this peace didn't last long. Karen, a woman in the neighborhood, seemed to dislike Jack's presence. She didn't just have a negative view of animals, but she also tried to control everything around her, especially in the neighborhood. Several times, I overheard her complaining about other dogs in the area. She believed that everyone should follow the rules she set, including the rule about having dogs. She didn't hesitate to show her dissatisfaction when she saw me walking Jack outside. Although Jack is a legal service dog and completely necessary for my work, Karen saw it as a threat to her rights. She decided to sue me with Ho for illegally keeping a dog, even though Jack was in full compliance with all regulations. Karen's determined attitude made it impossible for me to stay quiet. Today, as Jack and I were relaxing in this peaceful space, I felt a strange energy as if something was approaching. Karen came to me, and the tension between us was now unavoidable. She wouldn't just complain about my dog anymore. This time, she had a specific plan. A few days later, I received a notice from Ho that Karen had filed a complaint against me for illegally keeping a dog. One morning, as I was walking Jack around the neighborhood, Karen suddenly approached me with a displeased look, pointing at Jack and saying, "Karen, I told you, Daniel, I can't stand having that dog near my house. It's a threat, and I've reported it to the Ho demanding that you get rid of it immediately." Me, surprised but staying calm. "Karen, Jack is a service dog. He's not an ordinary dog. He's essential for my job. And besides, I'm not violating any regulations." Karen, scowling, voice harsh. "You don't understand, Daniel. That dog doesn't belong in this neighborhood. I've already reported it to the Ho, and I won't let this continue. It's disturbing and ruining our peace." I couldn't believe that Karen could go this far over a service dog. I felt the absurdity of her actions, but I kept myself in check to avoid escalating things. However, this was clearly beyond my limits. After receiving the official notice from Ho, I decided to take action. I knew I had the right to keep a service dog, and I couldn't let this discriminatory behavior continue. One evening, I met with an HOA officer to directly discuss this issue. Me, firmly, holding legal documents. I want to make one thing clear, and I need you to understand that Karen's request is completely unreasonable. Jack is a service dog, he has the right to be with me, and he is a part of my job. Asking me to remove him just because of personal reasons is discriminatory. HOA officer, hesitant. We understand the necessity of service animals, Daniel. But we also have to consider the feedback from the community. Karen has clearly voiced her concerns. Me, placing the documents on the table, looking the officer in the eye. So I ask you, if someone in this neighborhood has the right to demand that I remove a legal service dog just because they're uncomfortable, what happens to the so-called rights of the community? I will sue the HOA for discrimination against service animals if you do not resolve this fairly. Oh, officer, seriously looking at me. Daniel, we will review this matter thoroughly. But please understand, we also have to ensure harmony in the community. Me, decisively. If HOA doesn't do the right thing, I will be forced to take legal action. I will defend Jack's rights and my own. After receiving information from HOA that Karen had met with them to demand I remove Jack, I decided to take even stronger action. I gathered all the legal documents and evidence proving that service dogs are legal and do not violate any regulations. I also contacted animal rights organizations to help provide information about the rights of service animals. Determined to protect my and Jack's rights, I filed a lawsuit against HOA for discrimination and demanded that they change the regulations regarding service animals. Meeting with the HOA officer, legal documents and evidence in hand. I prepared all the legal documentation regarding service dogs, and I want you to understand that there is no regulation allowing Karen or anyone else to demand that I remove a legitimate service animal. Service dogs are an essential part of my work, and the regulations imposed by the HOA are completely invalid. Oh, officer, hesitant, looking at my documents. This is a serious issue, Daniel. But we need to review all aspects. Thank you for providing this evidence. We will look into it thoroughly. Firmly. If you cannot protect my and Jack's rights, I will continue to sue the HOA. We have the right to live and work legally without discrimination. Karen couldn't have imagined that I would have such strong evidence. One day after I filed the lawsuit, I invited a service animal expert to testify in a meeting with the HOA. This expert had helped train thousands of service dogs and knew all the regulations regarding service animals. When she spoke, Karen's arguments were completely defeated. Expert in the meeting with HOA, confident voice, service dogs, like Jack, play an important role in assisting during emergencies and rescues. You cannot demand that someone remove a service dog just because someone else is uncomfortable. Their rights are protected by public service animal laws. Karen, shocked, face pale. But I can't accept having a dog like that in this neighborhood. It's not safe. Expert, calmly explaining. Not safe? Service dogs are trained to help others in dangerous situations. They are not a threat. After the expert testified, residents in the neighborhood started speaking up in my support. Some people who had seen Jack work in emergency situations spoke out, proving that Jack was an important part of the community. Stories about Jack's support in dangerous situations were widely shared. Karen not only lost the lawsuit, but also began to be isolated in the neighborhood. A resident in the neighborhood, speaking to Karen, "We all know Jack is a service dog, and he's very helpful. You can't do this to Daniel and Jack." Karen, awkwardly, unable to respond. I just want this neighborhood to be peaceful. Smiling proudly. Karen, peace cannot be built on injustice. Everyone has the right to live in a healthy and fair environment, and that includes animals. After that, the HOA had no choice but to acknowledge the wrong in their decision. Karen lost credibility in the community and could no longer continue her absurd fight. After I sued the HOA for discrimination and publicly presented legal evidence, the court decided to handle the case. The HOA was forced to close for their discrimination against public service animals. The pet regulations in the neighborhood had to be completely changed to protect the rights of those who keep legal animals, especially service dogs. Karen not only lost the lawsuit, but also lost all credibility, becoming the subject of criticism in the neighborhood. Reading the court decision with pride. I won, Karen. Not just won the lawsuit, but we've changed the rules in this neighborhood. This is a victory for animal rights and for all legal dog owners like me. Karen, face turning green, voice trembling. But I just wanted everything to be peaceful. No one in the neighborhood wants to see dogs. Smiling lightly. Peace cannot come from injustice, Karen. Everyone has the right to live peacefully and freely. They not only have the right to keep pets, but also the right to live in a fair community. After the court's decision, the neighborhood residents began celebrating and felt as though justice had been restored. Residents who had previously been afraid of Karen and HOA control now confidently kept pets without worry. Families who had to hide their dogs could now walk them freely without fear of criticism or lawsuits. A resident in the neighborhood, speaking to me, excited. Daniel, thank you so much. Now we can keep pets without fear. You've done something big for us and for this neighborhood. Another, smiling, clapping softly. Exactly. We're so proud of you, Daniel. The whole neighborhood will never forget what you did to stand up for our rights and for animals. My animal rescue center, located right in the neighborhood, has helped dozens of abandoned animals find homes. Every day, families visit the center, adopting dogs, cats, and other animals. This is a major turning point not just for me, but for the community. Looking at my animal rescue center, speaking to a resident. Thanks for everyone's support. This is the result of standing up for what's right. Now, it's not just Jack and my rights, but the rights of all the animals that need help in this community. Karen, trying to justify herself, but no one listens. You don't understand. I just want everything to go back to the way it was. Another resident, interrupting, voice firm. No one cares about your opinion anymore, Karen. You've lost. Accept the truth. Karen, leaving, face red with embarrassment, no longer able to face the community. I don't want to be here anymore. All the residents in the neighborhood were not only happy that we had won, but also that there had been a significant change in how animals are treated in the community. Families no longer had to worry about keeping pets or having Karen or HOA interfere. The Animal Rescue Center I opened was not just a place to help animals, but a symbol of justice, respect for animal rights, and individual freedom in the community. Through this event, I learned that sometimes, when standing up for what is right, we not only win for ourselves, but also bring about change for the community. Justice will ultimately prevail, and protecting animals is protecting ourselves and society. I stand outside the newly opened Animal Rescue Center, which has become a favorite spot for many in the community. The afternoon light shines through the signs and glass windows, creating a bright and warm space, reflecting change and hope. Beside me is Jack, my loyal service dog, and the people from the neighborhood visiting the center, adopting the abandoned animals. They laugh and talk joyfully, giving hugs to the dogs, cats, and other animals in the shelter. Meanwhile, in the distance, Karen silently leaves, no longer a person of influence in the community. She is no longer noticed, and isolation is a given for her. Karen once tried to control those around her, but now she realizes that respect and justice cannot be replaced by selfishness and authoritarianism. This scene is a powerful display of victory, not just for Jack and me, but for all those who love animals and justice. If you love stories about justice and protecting animal rights, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Crazy Neighbor Drama channel to follow other inspiring stories. Let's stand up together to protect what's right and make our community a better place.